Welcome back to another entry in my video diary of Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on in Fawnhollow today? Fawnhollow being my island, of course. I can never get my mic position right. I always start recording these episodes and I always adjust it. It's like never quite correct for me. And I don't know why. I don't know why I can't get this right. Oh well. Anyway, off camera, did I do much? I think I moved some flowers so we can put some more paths down. Apart from that, I didn't really do anything. Anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 4:03 PM on Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. Nothing to speak of today, but oh, here's some personal news. I got to do a video chat with my family back home. Mum and Dad are both great. Aww. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Isabel. I imagine a lot of people are probably doing video chats right now. Zooms. I personally am using Discord a lot to chat with my friends. Not that it was any different, to be honest. Oh, a letter from Sylvana. Is it just me, Mountain? Okay, so this might sound strange, but whenever I see numbers lining up, I get excited. Like, if I happen to look at my clock just as the time flips over to 11:11, I feel like that might be important somehow. Your weird friend, Sylvana. I think a lot of people do that. You know, humans are very much pattern machines. Hold on. Gulliver first. Avasti. I wanted to thank you for saving my life, but I never got your number. Hope regular mail is okay. Did you know people still do these? Wild. Anyway, please enjoy this weird souvenir for me. Thanks again. From Gulliver Castaway. Anyway, Savannah, yes, we human beings are very much pattern recognition machines as Sphinx. I don't know what to do with this. I guess I'll just keep it in my inventory for now. No purples, I can see. Humans love patterns and will do whatever they can to identify and find links between things, is what I've heard. I don't think I'm any different, to be honest with that. No different from a regular human. In, well, many aspects I like to think of. Wait, hold on, that's not how you speak. Many aspects I like to believe. Many aspects I like to think of means that every aspect I can think of, I am an average human. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to stop talking about this now. But pattern recognition, you know, that's a very strong thing that people have affinity for. What on earth is that? I have to buy it. You have some very interesting things. I can't even tell what that purple sock is. And I'm going to buy all of these now because kicks. Don't kick me out of your shop. Why do I only have 3,000 bells? Why am I so poor? Alright. I mean, luckily everything's so cheap. What is this purple sock? I've never seen this sock before. I would like to buy garter socks. That is new. I was like, I've never seen these. Anyway, thank you very much, Kicks. Do we need anything else here? We have a full fur bag, although we don't have a white one, so I guess we should buy it. So let's purchase this, and as we completely run out of money, I don't know why we're so poor. Oh, because we bought a treadmill, didn't we? That's right. Let's close that. Diana was here just a second ago. Kind of wanted to chat with her, but apparently she's gone, so guess I'll just remove these windflowers. Of course, Kix being here, as discussed on some previous day, I can't remember what day, it does mean that we're not going to get any other visitors apart from potentially Wisp or Celeste much later in the day. Today. So we don't have to bother going around looking for it. You can also see I moved all the flowers in this path up to the museum so we can build a proper pathway. Annoyingly, the museum has a 3 wide doorway, but all the paths I want, or most of the paths I want, are 2 wide, so it's not really much I can do about that, except for just, I don't know, deal with it, I guess. Which is not ideal in many situations, but still, it happens. Sometimes things don't line up perfectly, and you just sort of have to make do with what you got. Is about right, Axel. And that's just life, you know? Make do with what you got. Oh no, you're ill! I don't have any medicine with you. I feel awful. Knew I should have stocked up on medicine. Let me go get you some medicine, Axel. I actually heard, I can't remember what episode I talked about the hidden friendship values. It's probably called like hidden friendship or something. Do I have enough space? I don't have enough space for that. Okay. Apparently something like if you speak to them first without giving them medicine, you lose out on one potential like friendship point or something, which is just absolutely absurd to me. Like, am I just meant to always carry around medicine just in case I walk into their house and they're ill? I suppose more reasonably, you'd probably find out from another villager first that they're ill. So then you can go pop over to their house and bring medicine and not lose out on any potential hidden friendship points. Again, I should say, don't take that for word. I might have remembered that very wrong. So if I did, please don't be mad. I mean, you're not going to be mad. Who's going to be mad? Who's going to watch us sit here and be like, oh my god, I took exactly what Dear Darling said to word and I can't believe it was wrong. That's just not a good way to go about things. I feel like it's actually been a while since someone needed medicine, so here you go, Axel. I hope you feel better. It's no big deal really, but please take this thank you gift. A firefighter uniform. Thank you very much. I'll take care of myself too. Don't you worry, Axel. We'll be back to give you a fruit later. Perhaps when you've recovered a little bit more. It seems a bit rude to immediately try and give you something. We should put some stuff away because we are holding actually too many items in our inventory. So let's go deposit that off at our home. As we think about, I don't know, what should we talk about today? Patterns. Patterns is kind of what we were talking about before, right? I guess so. I don't know. It just reminds me, I suppose maybe, do you think that's why humans like puzzles so much? Okay, maybe not. Okay, I should say not everyone likes puzzles as much as I do. But puzzles are kind of like that. It's just like finding a load of sequences, not sequences necessarily, but like, you know, finding a bunch of links to together and stuff, and trying to match them up, and trying to, you know, categorize things and then result in them, seeing how the patterns evolve and things. If we break down puzzles into the most fundamental sense, I suppose. I mean, that's perhaps a far too reductive a way to talk about puzzles, but you know what I mean, right? Kind of, probably, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that is why people like puzzles. Maybe that's why puzzles are even a thing that humans do. Do you think puzzles are maybe it's not a human thing? Because now I think about it, are there a load of animals out there which like to sell puzzles as well? Do you think they like looking at sequences and links and categorizations as well? Categorization ones especially. Humans absolutely love categorizing things, don't they? That's like the whole premise behind like things like Myers-Briggs or Enneagrams and like personality tests. That's why, you know, the whole memes of BuzzFeed being like, ooh, what type of potato are you? I don't know, I said I don't know many types of potatoes. Jacket potato, russet potato. What other types of potato are there? Sweet potato, couch potato. Bad joke, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's like the basis behind those like Myers-Briggs astrology sort of things, isn't it? Because human beings love to put labels and categorize on things, you know, because it's kind of fun, isn't it? I mean, I get it, and like they don't really hold much scientific backing per se, outside of how did you produce a purple tulip? What? Anyway, outside of things like, oh, you know, this Myers-Briggs test says you're more introverted than extroverted, and you know, fair enough. I mean, didn't really need a Myers-Briggs to tell me that. I kind of knew myself, I suppose. Or like something like, oh, you like to think in this certain way more often than others, you know? Which I'm not going to completely rule out Myers-Briggs and be like, hey, don't ever do this. You're just wasting your time. You know, it's fun. You know, just don't take it to heart is what I'm trying to say. You know, don't stick with yourself with that label and be like, oh, I can't do something because of it. Don't do that thing which, like, I don't know, apparently, I'm not sure if this is true or not, so maybe I shouldn't spout it as random fact, but like some employees just randomly divvying up roles and things based on personality types over, you know, accomplishments or, you know, ability, things which make more sense. Because the personality types are a little bit unrigorous and in its own right. Oh, why did you look so sad, Vivian? I'm sorry. You shouldn't take it too seriously, I should say. but for a little bit of fun, and just to, you know, learn a bit more about yourself and see what sort of things, you know, see what sort of conclusions you can come to about yourself, about ways you think. Challenge your point of views and your own perspectives is basically what I'm trying to say, that sort of thing. Then it's absolutely great for that. You can learn a lot about yourself, I'm sure, by reading into it a lot more. I myself, I'm only human. I do like categorization things. I like to do it more like as a fun sort of, a fun time quiz sort of scenario, rather than taking much heed or, I suppose, value in it. I suppose if I took the time to really evaluate myself through and challenging my own thoughts and decisions and my own personality through it, then that probably has a lot of basis. But, you know, I kind of just like seeing what other people and myself get when we do these little quiz-like things. What are you thinking about, Hippo? Glad to see you over here. I know it's not my usual style to be serious, but I'm trying to make an important decision. Should I move away from Fawnhollow? I feel like the bright lights of another island are calling me. I understand, to be honest, Hippo. Or there it is. I guess I'm leaving. Thanks for everything, dear. This isn't something to be sad about. Like when your favourite TV show gets cancelled. It's something to be cautiously excited about. Like when your favourite TV show changes time slots. That's very fair. Well, have one more goodbye present, I suppose, Hippo, for as you go. You were our first campsite visitor, and you moved in, and I was unsure about you and your design, but, you know, I think you've proved what a good friend you are. And we're proud to have you as a resident, and I suppose becoming an ex-resident of Fawnhollow. I'm so sorry, Hippo. I just denied you Eric's wave. You've been full of plenty of fancy and frankly hilarious conversations, to be honest, Hippo. The Smug Villagers always give the weirdest conversations, so thank you very much, Hippo, for choosing to move and stay here in Fawnhollow. And I hope you have plenty of fantastical adventures as you go off into, well, wherever you end up going, you know? Don't let me stop you, you know? I hope whoever we find moves into your old lot will be just as exciting as you are. I feel kind of sad letting him go. Even though I know he's not my favourite or anything, but, you know, it's just always a little bit sad watching a villager you've spoken with just, you know, leave. Well, at least I think it is. Sentimentality. Maybe that's one of my personality traits on Myers-Briggs or something. I didn't actually say what my Myers-Briggs type is. Anyway, if you would like to know, I don't know why you would like to know, but I am INFJ. My Enneagram type is 2, I believe? The helper, or whatever it was. I don't know if you can draw any conclusions about me from that, or if that means, well, anything to any of you. If any of you are even watching this, but, you know, try it. Do the Myers-Briggs test, do the Enneagram test, just for a bit of fun, you know, and don't take the results to heart and just be like, huh, that's interesting. I mean, you read all the strengths and weaknesses, or like the personality like summaries, and you go, huh, that fits me quite well. I mean, you read some and you're like, nah, I don't think that's me. But, you know, all in good fun. That's the point of it, isn't it? Well, I think that's the point of it. I mean, that's what I spent like the past 13 minutes discussing about it. Clay? You come into my island and give me clay. Where did this orange rose come from? Honestly, I'm outraged. Yeah, try it a little bit. INFJ, what was that? I'm sure there's people who are much more into Myers-Briggs and Enneagram stuff than I am, but I only like read I'm sure the test, whatever the website which first comes up, I think it's called like 16 personalities or something. I mainly like it because it's got really like nice illustrations to help remember things. Although, saying that, I can't remember what my INFJ like role thing was called. Advocate? That sounds about right. It's probably something like advocate. I just remember he looked like a grand wizard, and I was like, whoa. Like a sage or something. Oh, yeah. Hello, Savannah. Where did you come from? Thank you for the letter, by the way. Do you think normal types are INFJs? Maybe. They're probably all different. Yeah, so INFJ... I don't know. Let's talk about Myers-Briggs. Let's aimlessly talk about Myers-Briggs, even though I'm definitely not qualified enough to talk about anything relating to psychology or anything like that. I mean, that was like the introvert-extrovert scale, isn't it? Introvert being like you recharge by spending time alone, extrovert being like you recharge by spending time with others. Notably different from, oh, I think this is the first time we've seen Lily crafting something. Notably different from being shy versus an outgoing person, because you can be an outgoing introvert, right? You just need time to spend by yourself to recharge, but you can still like be extremely outgoing and sociable and loud and all that sort of good stuff. And you, just as well as you can be a shy extrovert, you like spending time with others, but maybe you're not so outspoken, you know? Personalities, all these quirks are different. There's depth, there's spectrums, there's a lot of hidden this and that's, which, you know, which is why probably categorization is a bad thing. And in terms of personalities, it's kind of hard to categorize. So surely, and especially with Myers-Briggs, when most of what you do is based off of your own interpretation, I suppose, of yourself, rather than a de facto, what's the word? Not unambiguous. What's the word I want? What's it like unbiased, that's the word. Unbiased viewpoint from, well, yourself, to be honest. That way you can be evaluated on who you actually are, rather than who you think you are, or who you would rather be. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, I suppose. We saw Diana walking about, but we didn't see her again, did we? No. N is like intuitive, right? Versus sensing, I believe, which is S1. I don't really know the difference between them. I think intuitive is you do things based off of your feeling, and sensing is based off your, or your senses, right? Surely? Like, how you see things? Is that right? That might be right. That might be wrong. I don't know. Honestly, who knows? So one of these is Flo's, who we can't give stuff to. One is Axel's. And... oh, there you are, Diana. Where did you go? Something like that. And then F is for feeling versus T, which is thinking. Which, as I understand it, is more emotion-driven versus logical-driven stuff. I think that's probably a gross, what's the word, generalization, probably. Probably doesn't truly encapsulate what they are, but I don't know. I'm just randomly speaking about stuff I don't know about, you know? I'm just trying to fill in the air. Then P versus J, I can't remember. This is judging versus perceiving, which, from a vague memory of my sister telling me, it was basically like J's tend to be people who are more organised and P's are not. Oh, wait, you're doing another stamp rally? Oh, okay, sure. I mean, yeah, why not do the stamp rally every day? I mean, it's probably not very exciting, but we get to see more of our museum. Yeah, F versus, not F versus J, P versus J. Honestly, I don't really get it. Perceiving versus judging. Like, I'm trying to think if I came from, like, an outside perspective and I saw P versus J, I'd be like, what would that mean to me? And honestly, I don't know. I don't know how I'd... Perceiving versus judging seems like another sensing versus, like, intuition sort of thing, doesn't it? Well, to me, at least. Blather's immediately asleep again, so I guess we'll just do the stamp rally while we're thinking about it. And it's weird, isn't it, that, oh, there you are, Roscoe. I didn't expect to see you here. Well, if it ain't highway, didn't think I'd run into you here. You kind of caught me off guard. Yeah, isn't it interesting how... Like, I believe those are meant to be spectrums, always, for the I versus E versus... the next one. The 4 different potential categories, but isn't it interesting how they categorized it into 6... like extremes? I would have thought you'd break up the spectrum into more things and rather one side or not another side. Reminds me of a campsite I used to go with my old man. Bugs would get inside our tent and then I'd go hide in the car all week. Fair enough. Because you would have thought, I mean, I'm saying this, but of course, like, Myers-Briggs doesn't hold much scientific backing behind it anyway, isn't it? Sort of like a... Sometimes it's nice to take a short breather and relax on the bench. It's like a thing that people just made up or something, right? At one point. Isn't it? It's like 2 women just like sat down and be like, oh, they saw some... There's like a previous personality test thing. The reason you can see so many dragonflies near water is because that's where they lay their eggs. Oh, good to know. I don't know where Bugs Farms is going to be. I'm going to presume in the other room. And then, yeah, they just built up us like some previous study they saw, and they were like, oh yeah, let's just make our own, I guess. And that's what they came up with. I don't know how that works. Can you just do that? Can you just be like, hey, this is like my new personality test. I'm gonna have. It's like I'm part of a bug community. Hi, bugs. It's like, oh, here's my personality test. Yeah, we're gonna just randomly divide people. Not randomly. We're gonna systematically, quote quote, divide people into 25 groups. You see, it's one better than not one better. It's, in fact, 9 better, I suppose. Then Myers-Briggs. So you should use this one. It's called the Dear Darling personality test. And what you do is you answer 2 questions on a scale of rating from 1 to 5, and then you multiply your 2 numbers together. Wait, that doesn't work. Wait, does that work? No, it doesn't work in the slightest. There's going to be some numbers you can't get. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? That's not how numbers work. Now, these guys have some backbone. Aquatic reptiles and pterosaurs. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, those Myers-Briggs things, you know what they're good at? They're great things to... What stamps are right next to each other? Things to think about when you're creating characters. You can... They're good starting points. You can think about your character when you're creating them for whatever story or whatever. As a starting point, if you want to like ask yourself questions about your character to try and get a deeper understanding of them, be like, are they introverted or extroverted, would you say? And you can think about that. You might be like, oh, they're so extroverted, they always love going out, they're so talkative, they love being around people all the time. When they're by themselves, they're bored, or maybe they're the opposite, or maybe you'd be like, there's sort of a weird mix in the spectrum. You can just think about where in the spectrum you put it. Of course, I think that's perhaps a bit less useful when it comes to the other letters, because I don't really get what they mean, to be honest. But maybe you could just use the 16 personality types in itself. Maybe you could take a quiz as if you are that character, and then you could see their personality type, read about their strengths and weaknesses, and incorporate it more. That's actually not a bad idea. Of course, that'd probably take, like, forever. So, if you do that, be prepared to spend a lot of time, I suppose, depending on how many characters you want to perhaps try and evaluate, but you do you, to be honest. That's all I have to say to that. That's actually interesting. And to be honest, I'm a sucker for categorization as well, so I didn't even pay attention to where the stamps were, so we're just going to look around aimlessly, I suppose. I think it's always fun when you're creating characters to try and get, like, each one having a different personality. And that way you can see the interactions of personalities between each other rather than having the same one. I guess if you have 17 characters, though, that's kind of impossible, but still. It's just interesting, isn't it? And that's probably why I like seeing what all my friends are as well, you know? It's fun to think about how I perceive them versus how maybe they perceive themselves, or how the test perceives them, I suppose. I'm not really sure how best to describe it. But I think there's a lot of interest in that. Well, at least for me. Perhaps I'm too... Perhaps I'm too concerned with people's personalities, maybe. I think I just like characters too much. Love creating characters, that sort of thing. Give them depth, give them backstory. And when it bleeds into real life, it's exciting, isn't it? Okay, I don't think we'll do this every day, because we definitely don't need all that many of these plaques all the same, but still maybe like 2 or 3 could be reasonable. I'll probably do it off camera though from now on, because it's a little bit repetitive otherwise. But you know, if I've got nothing to do today, it's probably a good thing to do, although probably a more productive thing would be to start watering the flowers. So then I could have more time later to start recording other things like bug fables. Like, I need to record some bug fables today. A lot of my videos recently have been very like last minute. I've been recording them of a morning of the day they should be uploaded, because I didn't build up a backlog because I was silly for whatever reason. So like both Heaven's Vault and Hollow Knight were recorded the day of their upload, which is an exclusive right only for Animal Crossing, but not this time. We're going to spend the last 5 minutes, I think, laying down some paths. So let's start some construction. Some paths like I said I'm going to do. So we need to get rid of this one. Not that one! Oh well. That was probably a bad one to choose because this one is here so many times. Yeah, so Myers-Briggs stuff, always very interesting, I think. But perhaps just for me, a bit too interesting. I'd imagine a lot of other people don't find it so interesting, you know. I'm sure a lot... Didn't mean to put that there. If you're hearing me talk about it, maybe you like turn up your nose, you're like, ugh, I can't believe you'd even bother with that sort of nonsense. And you know, I get it, you know. It's got no scientific basis. People take things like that too seriously, and then you can end up with a lot of pseudoscience walking around. And if you're someone who, you know, really evaluates the scientific, not evaluates, I was going to say believes in the scientific method, but that's obviously not what I meant. Who really appreciates the rigor of a scientific method, and having something like pseudoscience come along just to sort of, you know, lay it all to waste, it probably feels not great, you know? It's like hey, I want science to be rigorous, you know, and have backbone, have evidence supporting it, that sort of things, and when it comes along and just be like, hey, I'm sort of like, whatever, just like, you know, do your own thing. I guess that sort of feels bad, doesn't it? I get it. But, you know, let people have their fun as well. It's how I say. It's what I say to that. Sorry, Savannah, I'm going to have to move you out of the way slightly. There you go. That's how we deal with a free wide path. I can't remember where the other path I cleared was. I think it was by the ramp to Eric's house, which I was less sure of how I was going to do it because it's a lot more diagonal. But I think I could do it like this. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. I wonder if you can use Myers-Briggs to determine how interested you'd be in Myers-Briggs. Not even Myers-Briggs, Enneagram stuff. We should talk more about Enneagram stuff. But to be fair, I know significantly less about this because this was a much more, not recent discovery, but like I found about Myers-Briggs ages ago. Ages and ages and ages ago. When I first did it. So I was like, ooh, it's interesting. Intriguing even, some might say. Let's do the outline for this path first with this rock. Otherwise I might get a little bit confused, I think. Which one have I not done? This one? Yeah. So yeah, Enneagram stuff, there's like 9 different personality types. They're connected in some sort of star. Oh, that might have been the wrong one. No, that's not wrong one. Perfect, see? Just like that. A nice diagonal pathway. There's like 9 personality types, and then I don't really understand how they're linked. Some are like linked, and there's like wings. I should probably stop talking about it. The only one I really know is my one, which is type 2, which is dubbed the Helper, I believe. Which, to be honest, my biggest gripe with a lot of these, well, it's not really my biggest gripe with like Myers-Briggs and Enneagrams and that sort of thing, but my big gripe with a lot of other personality types is they're always so nice. I mean, it was like, oh, this is you, you're like, this is how great you are, and I'm like, what? You can't say this about everyone, not everyone. Like, we all got bad parts. I was going to say not everyone's great, which is, you know, distinctly just rude and not what I meant. Let me think how this goes. Should this be here? I think that works, right? And we want it to go like this, and then we want it to turn here. So I think that's how we should have it. This is a little bit confusing, to be honest. I think we want this, and we want this here. So we want these here, I believe. No, it should be a bit wider. It's a little bit narrow, isn't it? I don't know. Let's fill it up with other ones first before we decide to forthrightly how this is going to go. What was I saying? I actually completely forgot. Oh, well, it probably wasn't very important, to be honest. We want it to go like this, so this one shouldn't be like that. I believe. Yeah, I don't really remember what I was saying anymore. Enneagrams, something like that. I do remember when I took the test though, I was type 2, and then like, because they had it like based on how many points I guess you related with each type. So each type got like I think it was like a numerical value from like 1 to 10 or something. 0 to 10 probably. I do remember I got type 2 was whatever number, let's say it was like 9.5 or something. And then type 4 was just underneath it with like by 0.1. It was literally just underneath it. And I was like, huh, I wonder what that means. Because then they told me I was 2W1. Like 2 wing 1. I don't really understand what wings mean, but I assume it's like a subtype of your enneagram. I don't really know. It was interesting to read about though. I can't really remember what most of it said, but I remember at the time I was really interested in reading what this personality test thing had to say about me. No, I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. Let's think. This should be a diagonal, that should be a diagonal, right? Yeah, okay. Let's fill these in with a few more of these types though first. So will this have that corner piece, that corner piece? Corner, 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 corner. So we need one more here. We'll grab this one again to fill in the others. Just that one, it seems. Okay. This was a little bit confusing to think about, but you know, I think it worked out pretty well. A nice 2 wide path. Could do that for a corner. That does look quite a lot nicer doing it like that. Have we done that on other corners? Maybe we should. Let's move this cosmos out of the way. To be honest, we could just move it over 1, right? So let's see what path we need here. How much time do we have left? Oh, we're over. Let's go. I'll just put these corner pieces in and see what they look like. Yeah, I think that looks way better, to be honest. So yeah, in short, Myers-Briggs Enneagram test. I can't really remember if I talked about this before in Animal Crossing or not. I probably have. To be honest, I can totally see myself talking about it. Is there a plant here? Perfectly done. And we've added some nice new paths to Fawnhollow. Including one that leads to his ramp. All the way to Savannah's place. Almost. I suppose we should join it up. Come on. This is like easy stuff. Just a final bit right here. And then we'll wrap up this episode for today. Because there's nothing else to talk about. I've pretty much exhausted the topic of MBTI and Enneagrams. I'm certain of it. What do you mean there's more things to talk about? What do you mean there's far more in depth than I thought it was? We'll do this here because we're going to extend our path at some point. That way. But anyway, let's round off this episode here because it's been a pretty fruitful episode, to be honest. We still have some presents left to give up, but I'll do that off camera. Because, who do we even have? I can't remember. Flo and Axel, right? But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I've been Dear Darling. I hope we can see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time. Oh. Bye-bye for now.